Hi, this is Jeff with Radical Honesty, and I'm speaking on the subject of prayer and suffering. I don't know where you are in life, but as a follower of Jesus Christ, it's not just about doing, or just, claiming some verse, It's about the grittiness of life and the downturns of life. And oftentimes we need to seek God in prayer. So how do we do it? How do we combine the ability to endure suffering with the ability to pray and to understand that they both will exist at the same time, even as a faithful follower of Jesus? Let me read you perhaps the most famous passage on prayer. I'm going to read from the ESV. It's the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Now, on the series on prayer and suffering, I want to talk theologically. I want to give a lot of really practical tips too. I was a pastor, kind of still am, even though I'm retired, for over 30 years. I was a seminary professor for over 10 years, okay? So I want to be accurate. I want to also be practical. First, what does this Lord's Prayer teach us in sort of a, helpful manner? First, when you understand it's how simple it is and you break it down into its components, the very first components is how you view God. Actually, half of the Lord's Prayer is how you view God. So when you understand prayer, it's not like, here's a grocery list, and don't forget the eggs, God, No. Half of it is how you view God and how you, and this is like a politically incorrect, put yourself humbly beneath God. That's half of prayer, okay? And if you think it's all about, God's got to deliver, I got to find this person, I got to find the job, you're not going to see a good prayer life because you're putting yourself above God. God's your genie, the vending machine, Half of it is you putting yourself humbly under the will and the lordship of God. And oftentimes in prayer, we miss it. We think of, what do we do to get more effective prayer, No. It's how you stand before God. Number one. The second great component is a spiritual component. Forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. It's a very large component in the Lord's Prayer. It's spiritual. How we interact with people. How we have hurt people. Rather than getting things, which is very so American, so Western. And it's very Eastern too, getting things. I just want to get things. That's what God is, to give me things, It's really how you begin to transform your life spiritually in your following of Jesus. Do you see that? Number one, how you view God and humbly are beneath him. Second, how you are living your spiritual life in reaction to people and in yourself. But there's a third component, give us this day our daily bread. And it's there. We ask God for things that we need in life, and that's part of prayer. But here's the issue. Oftentimes as a follower of Jesus Christ or someone who's like seeking for God, we put that as number one, when really in the Lord's Prayer, it's number three. We want it as number one. We say, if I just follow the Lord's Prayer the way it's supposed to be, I'm going to get that, give us this day our daily bread, whatever it is, which is a new car, or a new girlfriend, a new job. You can't think of it that way. You can't think, I can never ask God for anything, because I'm just no good, No, that's not it too. You need to ask God for things. You need to ask God for help. You got to understand that he sustains your life. But it's the order of things. First, prayer is about how you view God. It's a spiritual battle, okay? It's a spiritual transformation. Here, pointing here is really here. Then it's how you journey in life spiritually, how you need to change, okay? But then you need to ask God for things. Understand these three components, and you're well on your way of understanding what prayer is in its relationship to suffering, okay? Now, what can you do practically? Think about your own prayer life. Is the percentage of like how you pray in sort of parallel with what Jesus taught us? Or is it very selfish? Okay. Because this Lord's Prayer is a game changer if you really know what it's talking about.